the one that you have a $25,000 limit on, that it's for the operation, repair, rental, and maintenance of the library facilities. So that would indicate to me that you could use it for repairing a heat pump. And the other thing about that account is that you're, at the end of June, you're sitting on $38,000. You have a $25,000 withdrawal limit, at least currently.
Mm-hmm.
You put $26,000 into it last year. If you do the same, you're never going to touch the 38 that's sitting there. You know, if you just rotate 25 in and out, that 38 is sunk money. It's in the basement. You can't touch it unless you change your withdrawal limit. So you might want to change your withdrawal limit, and similar to what we did with the other revolving fund, and you can use it for whatever your board of trustees thinks it ought to be used for.
And again,
Sorry, I was just going to mention one other thing that's probably not as obvious in here is the Kidder building. So we own and have to operate the Kidder building. So I don't know how many of you have been over to that Kidder building, but it has leaks constantly. It needs a huge amount of capital investment that Bill Ritchie has reviewed with us many times.
So maybe that's where that 38 ought to
That's
go.
So
Right.
that money, we may, and there's a Discovery Schools over there that we're, responsible for them to have a safe place for the children. So we can't just spend down all that money. I mean, not to say that we won't look at that, but we need to make sure that we have money in there to be able to invest and do upgrades to that building. So we are
No,
looking.
you might need a new roof.
We need a lot of things over there.
There goes.
Starting
And
with
it's
the
a pretty
gutters.
expensive list that we have, but like as I said, that building is very old, very, very old.
Okay, but technically,
Right.
you would have the right with that revolving fund, I think, to repair something in any library, facility.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, I don't know, man, it's a problem when you have a growing demand, and imaginative programming, and that also drives even higher demand. You need more parking, you need more staff, you need a lot of things, and I don't see that the town is going to be able to do any of them in a regular year. To move you forward in a jump greater than 2.5%, 3%. So, but I don't think that we have a disastrous year this year, at least so far. Anyway, does anybody have any other questions for the library? Oh, sorry, Steve.
Sorry, Ted. A few questions, actually,
Good.
on the self-service technologies. You said that you had sort of maxed out the efficiencies there.
Right.
Can you explain that a little bit? Is it a matter of as many people who are likely to do self-checkout do it? Is it that
Yeah, so basically, since the building's reopened 5 years ago, we started out in the mid 20% of our checkouts in self-service. And in the last 3 years, it's been roughly 33, 34, 35%. So we had big growth the first year, second year, and we've more or less maxed out on the people who want to use that service. The other efficiency is the...
can I stop you?
Sure.
Is that self-service machine consistently up and running, or does it drop
Yep.
out?
No, I don't want to jinx anything, but it's really hardly ever down.
Okay.
Yeah, it's consistently up.
And
there's
then on the
multiple
book
machines.
return that you said is a sort, and I
Right.
understand that came with a 3-year warranty that's over.
Right.
What's the maintenance cost on that now per year?
The maintenance cost, $11,500, $12,000 maintenance cost.
Okay, and the cost of a new sorter would be what?
I don't know what the cost of a new sorter would be at this point.
Okay. I mean, at some point, do we get to the stage where we're paying as much in maintenance as we.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to double check.
The new one.
The original sorter was, I don't want to say, I believe it was over 100,000, but I don't remember, because I wasn't involved at the time, but I could find that out. I will say that, we've used the maintenance contract to replace, belts on it, to replace motors on it, and, that's all covered by the maintenance cost. And any of those jobs, I don't know what they would have charged you significantly more if you didn't have a maintenance contract, to have them come out and do it. And it's also the $11,000 a year is, significantly less than, the full-time equivalents that would have to do the sorting and checking in of all those materials.
So do you continually sort of track the trends? Because again, if we could purchase another machine rather than add another staff person,
Right.
then in the long run, you'd save some there too.
We couldn't physically put another sorter in. It's not quite the size of this table, but it takes up significant space. Self-check machines, I've looked into trying to put them in different places to see if maybe that would, different places within the building. They're not as costly as a sorter, and they're a little bit more, the ones we have right now are built in, but in the future, we can get a more mobile one to try that. But our biggest efficiency really is the materials handler. That's where we save a significant amount of staff time.
You think that sorter is upwards of $100,000?
Yeah, absolutely.
Lee Michael.
Do you have the capability yet on the self-checkout to use your phone to scan your card barcode?
Not on the self-checkout.
Do you still just have one laser that does that?
Oh, at the front desk you can do that.
You can self-checkout on your phone? That was a limitation.
No, we can't self-checkout on the phone anywhere, but we have the lasers at the regular desk that you can check out on the phone.
And I think only one of them works. I just think that would be a good improvement for you, because if people don't want to carry cards anymore, and they're on their phone, so that is going to be a big limitation for that self-checkout kiosk.
Okay. Any other questions for the library?
Phil still wants to carry his card, in case you didn't.
But I want you to be able to use your phone.
Thank you, Phil.
I think I have 3 cards. No worries.
I'll just carry the card and the phone.
Well, I really appreciate you coming in, Will, and thanks for bringing us culture and civilization to the town. And,
Well, if you guys ever have a free night to get out to it.
well, not so much this month, but yeah, no, it's. I look at all the offerings you have on Mondays and Wednesday evenings.
Can't
And
compete.
you don't. So.
Will, if you could email your slides to Ted and he'll send them out and we can look at the rest of them.
So guess what? He put them on my computer to
Oh,
make
great.
the show.
Thank you.
So I can mail it out to everybody.
Thanks so much.
I'll just say one thing. We recently, do you want to copy it onto yours? We recently tagged onto a Pew Institute survey. Pew does a lot of research for technology and for libraries and so on. And what they've done is, you can take it, the link is on our website, but it's also been out in My Town Matters. It's comparing Milton resident library use.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It compares Milton residents' use of their library to the national average of this survey's use of the library. And I have a couple slides at the end of the presentation that show that library services in Milton are used and valued significantly more than the national average. So I think that it speaks well to that people are finding us and using us, and it validates other parts of our slides as well. So thank you.
And I just want to thank everybody for having us here. And if you haven't already, I just want you to, we want to thank Will as well. So, you know, the bad situation that we have here is that we have a library that everybody wants to use, and more people are coming, and the circulation is up, and, I mean, the number of teens, as Will said, you know, people have been trying to get teens into the library for years, and the amount of teens that are in the library, it's outstanding, so, and he's done an extraordinary job at trying to limit our expenses across, you know, many different ways to really help the town and to let us use, you know, use the money that we do have to the best of our ability, so.
Well, we appreciate your efforts.
Thank you.
Thanks, Will, good job.
Thank you.
Can I grab mine?
Yeah, hang on, let me just check.
Good turnout, library trustees.
Yeah, follow-up question.
Oh, that's why.
They just adjourned their
But it's in
Beautiful.
Hey.
All right, well, Will, thank you very much.
Is she the talking about? Share the library trustees.
Mike, do you know that the IRS considers that an unfair advantage for a
If anybody
nonprofit
has follow-up
to
questions,
sell
just
things that a
let me know.
for-profit
Okay.
Will do.
sells
Thanks.
as a business?
Thanks, John.
It's against the IRS code.
No, I didn't know that. It's a great idea, that's not gonna happen because it's illegal.
Caterers are always trying to use churches, you know, because they have great
Take
big
out hardcover
kitchens.
books, no more
And they
ebooks.
can make up all this pre-cooked food and everything.
I'm
and sell
always
it.
late
The
too, I
IRS
pay $10 a year and fine.
Because other people make
Trying to help
investments
out.
in kitchens and
I'm
stoves.
trying to read that same book.
And nonprofits have them. And
Church
usually,
I go to,
I'd like to have a 2-minute break.
that specific reason to rent.
2-minute break? Thank you.
is that right?